Hey there, Rebel retirees. Today I want to talk about Marlboro country. You know, the kind of place where bow-legged cowboys ride horses and herd cattle. People shoot off of their porch and eat venison for dinner. And steering a cow is considered a valuable skill. Where the deer and the antelope play and the skies are not cloudy all day. Where a man can live his life full measure, but it's not too fast, where freedom and independence is treasured. Montana is my Marlboro country. When I was a little girl, my grandmother instilled this notion in me that I wanted to see Marlboro country. I used to spend summers with her watching Queen for a Day and Let's Make a Deal and helping her dig into her garden and do various other things, play cards as a kid during summer vacation. My family and I lived close to my granny, so I had the opportunity to spend a good bit of time with her. So when we were watching these TV shows over summer and the Marlboro commercials, those cigarette commercials from the 60s would come on, and she would see those cowboys riding horses out west with beautiful scenery in the background, she would often say, I want to go there one day. And so I started thinking of it as Marlboro country because I equated that with the Marlboro cigarette commercials. So lo and behold, little did I know that that dream would be realized for me. Unfortunately, my grandmother didn't get to see Marlboro country, at least not to my knowledge. She died at the age of 89, and she did have some traveling that she did, but to my knowledge, she didn't ever go to Marlboro country. I believe she did go to California, if we want to call that the West. But at any rate, that's not the kind of West that she was referring to when she was seeing those commercials on television. So at any rate, 20 years ago, Rebel Retiree and I realized a dream of moving west. We picked up at the age of 49 and 50 and decided to retire in Montana. And it's just been a dream come true. It's been a vacation. It's like living a vacation ever since we've moved here. We were living in suburbia, New Orleans suburbs, and life is different here. Needless to say, there are a lot of things that I've learned since I've lived here, and it's been all good. And when we moved here, there were things that I didn't know about. I had a notion about what Montana was like. You know, this was from looking at movies and magazines, and I had done some research of the place before we moved here, and we had even traveled here. Because I wholeheartedly recommend that if you do intend to relocate to your dream location, that you visit the place if you can. So we had visited before we moved here. We came in the winter to make sure that we were able to fully appreciate what winters would be like in Montana. So with our two little girls in tow, we had two little girls at that time. Our three other children were grown and they had families of their own. But we still had these two little girls, and we came up here to visit one winter, and we just loved it. And so we decided we were going to move here. If we could have two children in midlife after 19 years, you know, our other three kids were already grown. If we could do that, we could move anywhere. We could do anything. So that's what we decided to do, was to move to Montana. So again, I was 49, David was 50, And so we sold our house, we sold the business equipment, and we moved to Montana. And like I said, it's been a vacation. It's been like living a dream. It really has been like a vacation for me. But there are a few things that I want to share with you today that I didn't expect out of Montana. And so one of them is the number of wildlife that I would have the opportunity to see. It's just been amazing. And a lot of these animals I have seen in my own backyard. I had no idea I would be so fortunate to see such wildlife. I have seen grizzly bears in my backyard. I have seen black bears. I have seen wolves, mountain lions, foxes, coyotes. Right now, we have a family of marmots that live on our front lawn. We've seen white-tailed deer and their baby fawns, which are so precious and adorable every spring. We just love watching those. And I've seen bighorn sheep. We did have a bighorn sheep come through on this property just a couple of summers ago. And also mountain goats. We've seen mountain goats, just moose, elk. I just can't tell you the number of wildlife that we have had the opportunity to see that I never would have seen back in the suburbs. And it's just been so absolutely amazing. So I'm, going to share some photos along with this video. And all of the videos and photos that you see are, our own photos and videos. The next thing I wanted to mention that I didn't ever think that I would do would be ice fishing. Now, admittedly, ice fishing is not my favorite thing to do, but I would wholeheartedly recommend it to anyone to experience it, because what is life if you're not taking advantage of the things that are offered to you that you can experience? And so we have been ice fishing, and it is cold. Let me tell you, it is cold. And the fishing here, the fish overall, people do like to go fly fishing, and that's fine. And I guess I don't really appreciate the fly fishing like other people do, because coming from the deep south and living around the Gulf of Mexico and Lake Pontchartrain, the fishing's totally different. And so I am still partial to the fishing down south. But at any rate, getting back to the ice fishing, the ice fishing is a cold experience. It's a very frigid experience, but it does give you the opportunity to go outdoors in the winter and do something. Otherwise, you would be stuck inside, looking at the four walls, maybe, just not going out and experiencing the outdoors like you could do. So, at any rate, that is one of the things that I really didn't think that I would ever have the opportunity to do if we had moved to Montana. It wasn't even something that was a thought of mine that I would ever go ice fishing. And the third thing that I didn't know about Montana was that there's a lot of water here. I guess I was ignorant. I thought Montana was a landlocked state. I thought it was just wide open country without a lot of water. Like I said, living down south on the Mississippi River, the Gulf of Mexico, Lake Pontchartrain, there's water everywhere. And so, I was just ignorant of what Montana was like as far as having water. So the alpine lakes have just been amazing to me. the lakes that are up in the mountains. They are absolutely gorgeous. And so you go on these hikes, and of course you're having a destination to some summit, you know, with a beautiful view, or a lake with a beautiful view. And that was just really amazing to me, that Montana has so much water. And of course it does have rivers, and they are just beautiful as well. But it is something different. It's not like living around these large bodies of water that I was accustomed to growing up as a kid, and you know, in those adult years prior to moving here. But there is a lot of water in Montana. So I guess this wraps it up for today. Basically, I just wanted to share those three things that I really didn't anticipate out of Montana. And that was the abundant wildlife, the ice fishing, I didn't ever think that I would do, and then also how much water is here, the alpine lakes, and the beauty of those lakes. Anyway, again, that wraps it up for today. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And let me know in the comments if you have any plans to relocate. What is your dream location for retirement? Most people do want to, you know, retire in place. I'm glad that we had the opportunity to do this and have this experience, and I have no regrets. So let me know in the comments what you guys think. I'd love for you to share with me. I want to hear what you have to say. So give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a video. I'm Marlene with Rebel Retirement, and I'll see you next time.